What's going on, everybody? First off, I want to say that I highly appreciate everybody's support on my recent analysis video on Uncut Gems. So far, I've been getting a lot of views on that video, and I just want to say that I appreciate everybody's support and everybody who clicked on that video and gave me a like and shared it around and just overall just gave me support on that video. I really appreciate that. Today, I'm not doing a review, obviously. From the title, I'm going to be predicting who I think is going to get nominated for some Oscars, but I'm not going to be predicting every single category. I'm only going to predict Best Picture, Best Actor in a Leading Role, and Best Director. Those are the only three categories that I feel more or less confident in actually trying to predict. But how I'm going to do this is I'm basically going to just predict who I think will get nominated by the Academy, but afterwards, I'm going to give you the list that I kind of wish would get nominated. So it's going to be like a wishful thinking list after I give you my prediction list of who I do think will actually be nominated by the Academy. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to start with saying who I think is going to get nominated for Best Picture. So Best Picture is the first category I'm going to be predicting. And I believe that they allow for 10 different films to be picked in this category, but I don't think they've ever went the full 10. For some reason, they either stop at 8 or 9. I don't know, honestly, that's a pretty douchey thing to do for the Academy, because especially for this year, because there's just tons of excellent films that came out this year. So if they don't pick 10, that's just another weird, arrogant move on their part. I don't understand. Okay, so the films that I think are going to get picked for Best Picture by the Academy are Marriage Story, The Irishman, 1917, Bombshell, Rocketman, Parasite, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Ford vs. Ferrari, Little Women, and Joker. So those are the films that I think that the Academy are going to kind of safely pick. But I will say that, the ones that I wish would get nominated instead would be like, instead of Bombshell, I wish that Uncut Gems would get nominated because I think it's much more deserving. Ford v. Ferrari, I wish would get replaced for The Lighthouse because that's an obviously vastly superior film. Rocketman, I think, deserves to be replaced by a film like Waves. Because Waves is just much more creative, much more impressive on a filmmaking standpoint, in my opinion. By the way, this should be obvious, but all this is just my opinion. I'm not trying to come from an authoritative standpoint or anything like that. But I am pretty stern on what I think is just, in cinema. But, and Little Women, honestly, I'd rather see a film like Jojo Rabbit get nominated. They say it's like in the running. They said that it could get nominated for some stuff, but I'm kind of hesitant on it because it's not really getting that much buzz. And I really wouldn't be upset if something like The Farewell got nominated either, because I wasn't ecstatic about that film. I don't think it's anything like super spectacular or anything, but it is a good movie, and I wouldn't be upset if that got nominated. So, but all right, let's go ahead and move on to Best Director. So who I think that the Academy is going to pick for Best Director is Martin Scorsese, Quentin Tarantino, Greta Gerwig, Bong Joon-ho, and Noam Baumbach. So if this were the case, if this is actually what happens, I wouldn't be that upset, but there are some picks in here that I think are much more deserving. For example, if Noam Baumbach got nominated, I personally would have preferred the Safdie brothers to get nominated, because I just think from a directing standpoint, it's a bit more impressive than Marriage Story, even though I think Marriage Story is a really good film. Greta Gerwig, I hate to say it, guys, but if I'm putting up Greta Gerwig against, like, Robert Eggers, I'm sorry, but The Lighthouse is just, I don't think anybody would disagree that The Lighthouse is just a far more impressive piece of filmmaking, even from a directing standpoint. So, I would love to see Robert Eggers get nominated instead of Greta Gerwig, because I wouldn't replace Bong Joon-ho, Quentin Tarantino, or Martin Scorsese in their place. So, I think those three, Martin Scorsese, Quentin Tarantino, and Bong Joon-ho, I think those are locks. I don't think they're going to snub them at all. But I can see the Safdie brothers and Eggers getting nominated. Honestly, I would also like to see Todd Phillips get nominated too. So if he was in the mix in this, that would kind of make me happy. But all right, so let's go ahead and move on to Best Actor. So for Best Actor, who I think the Academy is going to pick, I think they're going to pick Joaquin Phoenix, Adam Sandler, Adam Driver, Taron Egerton, and Tom Hanks for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. So this is, I do have a wishful pick here, kind of, and that's Adam Sandler. Anybody who's seen Uncut Gems knows that he is pretty much incredible in the film. Even if you don't like the film, you have to admit that his performance in it is really impressive. And I can kind of see them snubbing Adam Sandler here because he doesn't have a very good rep, you know, in the Kino community, if for the lack of a better word, you know, for people who take film seriously. You know, he doesn't have that much respect, and I can kind of just see them snubbing him because they still don't really have much respect for him. And, you know, I can see him getting snubbed and them putting somebody in like Matt Damon or Christian Bale for that award. I don't know if Matt Damon or Christian Bale in Ford v Ferrari. I don't know who was the lead actor and who was the supporting actor. I'm not sure. But I can see some kind of Oscar bait performance like that snubbing Adam Sandler, which is pretty upsetting. You know, Tom Hanks, I really like Tom Hanks. I think he's a good actor, but like for the past decade or even more, he's just been doing Oscar bait films, and it would be really cool to see him, you know, utilize his talent in more independent art house films. People like Colin Farrell, people like Robert Pattinson, people like even like Adam Sandler just now, like they're not just doing what they've been doing for decades. Like at least challenge yourself and do something that's a little different. And speaking of Robert Pattinson, if Tom Hanks gets nominated, I would definitely want to see Robert Pattinson get picked because his lead performance, honestly, is arguably the best, not the best, because I personally think that Joaquin Phoenix gave the best performance of the year, but it's definitely like top 3 or top 5 best performances of the year by far. Pattinson was absolutely incredible in it, and it's pretty cool to see him come this far, you know, since Twilight and prove all the haters wrong that, hey, I am a serious actor. I'm not just doing this for the quick cash. Taron Egerton, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen Rocket Man, so I can't sit here and say that he doesn't deserve it. But I don't know. I mean, I can see someone like Robert De Niro being a little bit more deserving for his role in The Irishman. He was absolutely incredible in the film, as he usually is in Martin Scorsese films. But yeah, I guess that's really all I gotta say, guys. I'm sorry I'm not predicting more, but when the Oscar nominations get announced, I am going to be predicting every single category to the best of my ability and see how many I get right, because it's just an annual tradition that I pretty much do every single Oscar season. So I just have a lot of fun with it. And speaking of which, I'm going to be doing 2 kind of live reaction videos. The first live reaction video isn't really like a live reaction in the terms of like I'm going to be doing a live stream, but I'm going to be watching the Academy announce the Oscar nominations like in my own real time, and I'm going to react to them, and then I'm going to upload the video afterwards. But for the actual Oscars ceremony where they actually give out the awards and all that shit, I'm going to have a few of my friends that I usually do the film reviews with in the car, Perry and Eric. They'll be there, and we're going to have a live stream the entire Oscars night, and we're going to be reacting to the whole damn thing. The Oscars usually let us down a lot, so expect some kind of outrageous, over-the-top reactions because we get really passionate about filmmaking, and to see, you know, to see an establishment like the Academy, who are supposed to appreciate filmmaking from an artistic standpoint, just kind of shit the bed a lot of different times throughout the ceremony, it just drives us up the wall. So I think that'll be fun for not only us, but for everybody watching to kind of see unfold. So definitely be there for that. If you really enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it amongst your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be updated on more film-related content.